Imagine if someone made a device, kind of like test tube babies, but all you need to do is to place semen into the said device or machine, and when you replace the nutrients into the machine and keep it plugged in or running on a battery, within 9 months or even 6 months, you will have a baby to be born, a fetus, just like any other babies, just done quicker. Now, some people might be against this. Some people might have a problem with this in some way, morals, religion, beliefs. But just imagine real quick. Imagine you don't need to be with anyone else. You could just have a machine drop some in. Let's say if you want to keep a heritage, a family alive from somebody's seed that's in a frozen sperm bank, you could take that sperm, place it in the machine, and their life can live on. Their last name can live on. Just imagine that. Just imagine it real quick. Imagine if the process of it isn't 9 months, but 6 months or 3 months. There could be a human life, a human baby. I don't know how that machine would be able to become a thing, as test tube is kind of crazy when you look at it, but it has been done. But just imagine a machine. And imagine if the machine wasn't super expensive. Imagine if it was like $1,000. But just think about it. Think about it real quick. Imagine if there could be a way where women can use it. Imagine if their husband or boyfriend is gone, but the sperm is still there, frozen. She could eject it into the machine and not. Let's say she can't have babies, right? She could eject it in the machine and they could take a sample of her blood or something that will be related to the baby and eject it into the machine. And now that baby has her DNA and her loved ones. And a baby is born from it. Imagine that. That could solve so many different things. Yes, it's unnatural. Yes, it's very odd and weird. But imagine it. Imagine all the fighting we have nowadays and the pain and the suffering of people that cannot have babies. The people that lost their chance to make a baby with their loved one. Imagine the fighting of people with abortion. That would all be gone because there wouldn't even be a point. You could just use a machine. It is weird to think about, to wrap that thought around, but it could be possible. If they can make a test tube baby, I'm sure that one day we will have the technology to make something like that. I had this thought very randomly, and I feel like it should be at least thought about or discussed to become a thing of the future. I hope people can agree on this, think about it, have a thought around it. Maybe someone can do research on it. Just something. I feel like it would solve so many issues in the world. And it'll be very amazing and great to see that if it does become a real thing. Imagine that a machine that you can keep plug in the wall or runs off its own special battery. It's all clean. It's a nice looking machine. It's a medical device. You eject the DNA from two parties, male and female, or same sex, same gender. I don't know. And you mix them together, and it creates life from a cell all the way up to an actual baby. Food could be kind of like what they feed through a feeding tube. When people get those in, that can be in place. But it could be on a level of kind of like what a saline bag is, or sugar and a little bit of salt and water. Imagine that. And it just kind of drips. It's kind of like a hummingbird feeder. How it's basically sugar water. And it feeds on that. Electrolytes, it feeds on that. Imagine if it's something like that. Just something that trickles on some nutrients in the cell juices, and it drinks from it, it tastes from it. The belly cord can be attached to something, and it feeds into that artificially. A little robot just feeds into it, trickles down into it, feeds the baby. You could feed it many different things, but it has to stay in that category. It has to fit in the medicine tube. It has to be prescribed, I guess you can call it. Imagine that. Vaccines can get into it, vitamins. The person that is around and taking care of the machine might be sick, but the baby won't. You can still eat whatever food you want, but the baby will have the proper nutrients it needs, just in an unnatural way. When it comes out of the machine, it will just be on a white padded silicone bed that slides out like a drawer. It just automatically slides out, and the machine has a little compartment that opens up that has a steamed, warm blanket that pulls out. A nice, soft blankie comes out of the machine, has her name printed on it when they're born, so you know. And you can wrap that baby up in a bundle of joy, a real baby. Now, I'm not too sure on the psychology levels of having your baby to be born from a machine or a medical device, and how that would affect how we see human life, because it won't be natural at that point. It would be like the test tube baby experiments, or people, as I should say. But imagine that. It could even automatically send a birth certificate and time and date to the program on the company that runs the machine artificially. They make sure everything's up to date, the baby's doing well, all that kind of stuff. Imagine certain diseases, syndromes, mental disorders that could form from being in a pregnant state in the womb. That won't happen anymore, or shouldn't. It's like artificial life, but it isn't. Just slightly. Just slightly. Now, of course, you're probably wondering, oh, would I be able to pick the hair color, all that kind of stuff? That would make it way too complicated. But just think about it. Now, of course, you might think, well, people would be abusing it, just reproducing kid after kid, and they could make armies of kid. Well, maybe there could be a permit that you have to get. If you actually can't make a baby, or if you qualify, you could have one-time use or up to 3-time use on this machine. You would have to make it fair. You can't just give out the machine and then everyone starts using it. You have to have it for a reason. That's how you have the passion to design it. imagine that. Just real quick, just close your eyes and imagine it, or keep them open and visualize on the picture I have right here. That's it for my message. I just want to get that out. Maybe one day, because I had the urge to talk about it, the thought of said machine existing. Maybe one day we'll see something. And that's it. Thank you for watching.